Okay, okay, okay. Are we working now? Are we working? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I switched my mic from my headset mic to my Yeti mic, and I always forget I have to, switch it out. Because OBS won't do it automatically by whatever's hooked up. So, thank you, Cranberry. Thank you. Oh, hi, Salt Merchant. I didn't even see you come in. Hello, Salt Merchant. Thank you, Cranberry. Thank you. So I talked for a while. Gotta love the beginning of a stream where the streamer doesn't talk for a while because their mic is muted. Professional. Professional up in here. That's why you guys watch me. Yeah, I should have realized I didn't see the mic bar moving and I didn't even notice. So, anyway, I was fixing the sound, making the music a little bit better. Hope that's better. Everybody's good for sound. We'll return. So, visual novel, maybe with, paranormalness, ghostiness. This guy isn't just pale because he's a millennial, he's pale because he's a ghost. So, let's go. Yes, thank you both for joining. Let's start the visual novel and I will prepare to read. Let's take a drink of water first. Water drink first. Reading time. So I don't think this game is particularly long because it did say it was a game jam game. So, start. What's my name? Yeah, we'll say what the default name. Clarice. Clarice. As long as the other person isn't named Hannibal, we should be okay. Chapter 1. A good place to rest. Ooh. Oh, the music just got so much louder. Oh god, it's blowing up my eardrums. 1 second. Okay, let's just put that down a little bit for me. A little bit more. I can't even hear my own voice. Okay. It's a weird feeling, really. Being overwhelmed by the calm. Yeah, exactly. You get so used to the noise, the rush, the bright colors, the flashes everywhere, always. Where are you normally? Are you at a club? 'Cause I don't know about you guys, but my normal life is not noisy, rushy, with bright colors and flashes, but maybe they'll explain. It becomes a part of your life. I think that is a distinct characteristic of human life. You can adapt to pretty much anything, to an extent. But that does not mean that something that is part of your life can't be a pain. In my case, what adapting meant was something along the lines of suffer through. Big words. Doesn't change the fact that the soft wail of the wind in the leaves feels so unnatural to me that I feel like I'm under attack. Every cracking bench, every rustle, every bad word bird shriek is raising an alarm in my city life trained brain. Oh my god, this girl needed to touch grass. She's touching grass right now and she's freaking out. Yeah. So I don't censor I do censor myself a little bit because I do like to keep a PG rating. Yes. Yeah, yeah. I don't go outside a whole bunch, but I go outside more than this lady does into nature. Yeah, so I do try to keep a PG rating on my stream, so I do not try to swear too much. But this was rated teen for, well, obviously, talk of death. There's a literal probable ghost in this game, and then language. I will get used to it, and while I'm not, it sure won't stop me from discovering everything there is to see. The land was mine, and now that I am settled, I intend to see what I only just glimpsed. That quiet and serene beauty, something you wouldn't even put on a postcard, because it would be too cliché. Oh, art. That's exactly what I was looking for. Wouldn't it be nice to get land? I'm not one of those people, like, we actually have a house because we got lucky, and we're privileged, but I know a lot of people would be like, God, I just love some land and I could build my own house at this point. Just give me a piece of land. A simple scenery one would deem overused, the textbook nature. A Bob Ross painting with happy little trees everywhere because they all have a friend. Ah, Bob Ross. It feels like that's what I need. Ooh, the art's pretty. Sometimes I feel a little ridiculous. I'm still young-ish. What I say to myself every day when I wake up and my body hurts. I mean, I have been 30 for 3 years. Oh, she's not that young. Okay, cool. Nice. Nice to see a main character who's in their 30s. I have been 30 for 3 years already, and when I pass by kids on the street, I hear and discover words that I wish were allowed at Scrabble because there's a lot of swearing in this game. Because, damn it, they would be worth a lot of points. Okay, maybe I don't have a place among the young, but I'm not old, I say, as I begin my VTuber career in my 30s. And yet, my VTuber career, my VTuber hobby, let's be honest, it's a hobby. I often feel like I am burdened, crushed by the weight of everything. Yeah. It's only going to get worse, lady. When did this game come out? And I think I have broad shoulders. I survived medical school after all, and 5 years in surgery on top of that. I'm not the toughest there is, but I can handle life. I firmly believe that I can. I can adapt. I can suffer through. Girl looks like she's constantly on the verge of tears, and it's very relatable. That was the realization that made me go, you know what? F that. I had dreams, money, a car, and a strong desire to F off. Language, lady. Today I was significantly less of the second, none of the fourth, and a load of the first. Strolling the... This game likes ellipses, I'm gonna realize. Weirdly stressing woods of calm and quietness is a great way to feed my artistic monster. I'm already envisaging. Envisaging. I know what a visage is. Envisioning. Isn't it envisioning? Anyway, all the photos I could take, composing images in my brain. Mostly pictures of trees and squirrels, though. That's not really Life magazine's top photograph material, but you have to start somewhere. They're all so cute with their little hands, especially when they're eating. How could you not? Ellipses. Oh god, there's a dog. This is when I panic, because I love dogs, not strange dogs. Turn this down. Don't like strange dogs because I'm scared they're gonna bite. I almost jump in surprise, lowering my gaze to my feet to see nothing. Woo! Did a twirl. She did a twirl. How? The bark felt really close, just in front of me, and yet when I look and turn around, I don't see anything. Oh god, she's doing 360s. No dog, not even a trace of one. I stare at the bushes near me. I look for something, the end of her tail wagging beneath the branches, or a leash pulling away from me. I even lift my gaze and try to spot an angry owner rushing towards me while yelling something. Something along the lines of, bloody dog, can't stop itself from running away. Sorry, ma'am. Hope the damn rascal didn't disturb ye. But no. There was no owner, no leash, no tail, and no dog. It's a ghost dog. Ghost dog! Okay, must have been the wind, and yet there must be one. Let's go. This is very pretty. I like this, frame? Ooh, I like her expression. I like the subtle, animations in this. Especially because I think this is an indie game, so it might have just been one person. Okay, must have been the wind, and yet there must be one. Let's go with not questioning my senses quite yet. Could be that I imagined the sound of a bark, or that something didn't register properly in my brain, and the only response I found was opening the doggo folder. My husband hates when I say doggo, but I'll say it, and I'll say puppers too. It wouldn't be entirely impossible. That folder does occupy a big chunk of my brain. I don't think that's what happened, though. I know what I heard. I don't know if I should call that intuition or not, but my good boy senses are tingling, and I do not doubt myself when it comes to good boy senses. I look around a bit more carefully, checking under the bushes. Searching behind me on the path, even whistling a little to get a reaction. Nothing, but maybe behind that tree there could be... Aha! The exclamation crossed my lips before my mind even registered it. I definitely didn't hallucinate the first one. There was a dog, and it was a bit further away this time. A few meters in front of me, I would say. I know dogs, stray or not, can be dangerous, yes. For all I know, some could even be feral around here, and it would be in my best interest to turn around and go back home, but for some reason, I'm not afraid. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well... you know, language is subjective. I would argue that for me personally, the ultimate Canadian American curse word is the C word, but that one is very casually used in British English and Australian English. I hate saying that word, but that's because with our accent, it sounds so bad. It sounds so blunt and horrible. It rhymes with blunt. But yes, I'd say the F word is probably the second most one, but it's also one I use regularly, just not when I'm streaming or making videos, because I do try to keep them PG. Yeah, this... They're like, we're rated T for language, and we're going to use the language. I can't really explain why, but even without seeing it, it's most probably cute. Fate? It's... Wow. Okay. I can't explain why, but even without seeing its most probably cute face, I can feel it has no ill intentions. Yeah, even spelling it, I think, is giving it too much, so I'll say, if you ever hear someone say, "See you next Tuesday," that is a hint. On the contrary, its bark echoes through me like a laugh. Yeah. No, that's okay. That's okay. No worries. Yes, let's just say... yeah, English and Australians use it all the time, but it doesn't sound as bad in their accent. For us, it's like, ooh, that sounds so harsh. It's something nice, gentle, and playful. By closing my eyes, I can almost instantly picture a big dog running around me. Wagging its tail like it's a helicopter, its mouth wide open with its big tongue swirling around, making it look like a pure and gentle idiot it must be. The pure and gentle idiot must be. Yeah, and advancing towards the bark is the right course of action. I'm so good at reading. Advancing towards the bark is the right course of action. I'm sure of that. So I let him guide me, and when I get to what I believe is the spot where it came from, I instantly hear another one. Yeah, that's funny. This time, it's even further away in the trees, and while looking for a way to get to it, I spot an old path, almost taken over by the vegetation. I wouldn't have noticed it if the dog hadn't brought my attention to it. As I'm treading on the uneven ground and getting scratched by thorns, I can't help but understand that this dog is leading me somewhere. And again, as this thought gets clearer in my brain, I am bombarded by alarm signals in every aspect of me that is rational. Whatever I am doing is not a smart decision. Following a dog I don't know, that I can't even see, and which seems to be leading me deeper into the woods. I have to cough, of course. Not sick, but reading. Bleh. Maybe I should turn back. I still feel at ease when I consider the dog's intentions, but I can't really ignore what the situation is becoming. I'm not an explorer. I just wanted to look around the house for a bit and go a bit further into the forest this time. Now that I knew about the hidden path, I would remember it, and coming back tomorrow would be safer. Yeah, F that. The barks keep leading me, but it doesn't stray away from the path. For a few minutes, I only have to keep on track until I hear something else. A distant, faint noise, easy to recognize. The sound of water. The dog leads me in that direction, and seems to be getting more and more excited. It only takes me a few seconds to fight my way against the thorns, pushing away a curtain of bushes to reveal... waterfall! Ooh, it's pretty. I like the backgrounds. I can't tell if they're photos with a filter and like some... like stuff, but they're very pretty either way. They could just, it could just be a painting. I'll have to look at the credits. Wow. A waterfall in a little lake, turning into a small river, coursing its way to the other side of the clearing surrounding it. It's gorgeous, small, secluded, calm. This is everything I hoped I would find in a place like this. A place I want to see, to feel, to photograph, to immortalize even. So, why do I feel my joy fading away as I step closer and closer to the water? Music got scary. With each step, the beauty of this place seems to get, I don't know, sinister? Music is loud. Or maybe something else. A sort of sadness is bathing the whole place, as if the sun just got a little colder. It's setting now, but this feeling hits deeper, and the more I think about it, the more Where did the dog go? This is actually a horror game, guys? No, sorry. At least no one gave me the impression it was. It led me here, but the second I stepped in the clearing, I stopped feeling its presence. More than that, the quiet and joyful sensation that made me reckless enough to follow it is gone, disappearing like an exhausted laugh. Now, I feel the complete opposite. Unwanted. Watched. Hello? Anybody there? The silence stretches. No answer. Figures. I don't want to leave, precisely because I get the feeling that something here wants me gone. Ooh, stubborn. But I have to be a bit smarter, I just know it. The sun is dipping closer to the horizon and the temperature is starting to drop. I feel like I was brave coming here, but staying now would be... Well, let's be kind towards myself and say, it won't be the wisest choice I've ever made. With small steps I leave, going back to the hidden trail. The end. No. Along the way, I feel invisible eyes on me, piercing my back as the sound of the waterfall fades. It does not take me long to reach the main path, and I feel the oppressive sensation withering away. There is something about that clearing, and... I will definitely be back. Determination. Concern. Determination. Concern. Determination. I like her little, snide, yeah, you can't scare me away. I'll be back. Tomorrow, even. Whatever it is, whatever's causing that weird sensation, I will see to the bottom of it and find an explanation. I won't get pressured away from my own lands by some weird invisible presence. What year is this? Well, she said she's living in a city. She's dressed like... I guess she could just be wearing a trench coat and a sweater vest. She's dressed very, non-time... out of timely. Taking that first photo is not really about the picture itself. It's about telling the whole universe that I'm back and I won't be easily repelled. A little sadness in the cold air was enough to trouble me yesterday, but a good night's sleep is the best medicine for your everyday problems. Not that I actually slept very well. Last night was akin to every other for the last, 10 years? More or less? It's hard getting my 8 hours of rest every night, no matter what time I go to sleep. Relatable. Or, I'll do that for 5 days a week, and then I'll have 1 day of the week where I sleep for 12 hours and also feel terrible. Because I'm catching up, but then that day I'm messed up. Make sure to bring a grappling hook. Yes, let's climb that waterfall. I have nightmares pretty much every time. It's nothing too serious. I don't dream of getting chopped up each time I close my eyes. Well, I'm glad. Maybe it's because she's a surgeon? It's just about life going wrong. I get lost in a place I'm supposed to know. I mess up a simple surgery. I forget how to speak in the middle of an important speech. I lose my teeth sometimes. I hate that one. Oh my god, the teeth falling out dream. Ugh, the worst. I have that one once a year and it's terrible. And I know it's about feeling helpless about something in your life. It's I know, but could it choose a different thing? Maybe all my hair could fall out. Or my fingernails. Or I don't know, something different. Change it up. The teeth one is just, ugh. Yeah, I would not be able to be a surgeon. That's so much pressure. And yeah, that would be so hard to do. That's what happened last night. I dreamt that something was stuck in my mouth and I found a string. I thought it was a surgical thread and I shut my eyes. I don't want to think about it. It's already haunted my nights. I don't need to haunt my day too. Relatable. You've never had the teeth dream? Oh, it sucks. Yeah, it's at least when I have it, it's I reach into my mouth, I'm just doing normal things, and it's very realistic. That's why it's so freaky. And you're just doing a normal thing, watching a movie or working or playing a video game, and you're touching your teeth with your tongue, and then one of them feels loose, and you're huh, that's weird. Why is my tooth loose? And you test it, and then it comes out, and you're oh, and you still think it's real, and you're oh no, my tooth popped out. That's crazy. And then they all start coming up. Oh, it sucks. Oh no, that sounds terrible. Yeah. Dreams are messed. But I've had the teeth dream a lot. Not all the time, but just enough that I remember it very clearly. I've had so many dreams, since we're talking about bad dreams, I've had so many dreams where I'm back in college, or because my ADHD is sometimes really bad and I forget things a lot, like sometimes I forget appointments and things, I dream that I have paid to go back to college and then didn't realize it, and I had not gone back to college and I paid all this money to go back to college and completely forgotten about it. And then I get a thing saying like, oh, hey, you've missed all your classes, your money's forfeit, like, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, oh no, what? How could I have forgotten this? That's a dream I have a lot. And it's just like, and I have to wake up and be like, I gotta check my emails. Did I accidentally register myself in courses or something? Like, ugh, it sucks. And you know it doesn't make sense, because I'm like, I would have noticed money being gone, right? Oh, it sucks. Anyway, back to the game. Yeah, animated stone door is scary. All I can think of is Doom Wall? Or Demon Wall from Final Fantasy games? So yeah, ugh. I take a long breath. In comparison to the dread I felt waking up, this place feels warm, even when I remember the temperature dropping yesterday evening. Which is a strange situation. When you have to choose between leaving your mind to its own devices and going back to the beautiful but eerie place that doesn't want to accept your presence. I think you're not really supposed to conclude, yeah, let's go back to the grumpy waterfall. Yeah. I've been to college. I didn't go to university, I went to college. But I still have dreams of like, oh no, I've paid all this money and then I completely forgot to actually go. I lost all that money. Oh, which I don't think would happen in real life, but yeah. But I forget appointments and stuff all the time. I don't know. It's an irrational dream, but it's funny. Besides, the place seems a tad more peaceful than yesterday. I still feel that F-off energy, but it's softer, more distant. I'm still not welcome, but if I were to hazard a guess, I would say that shooing me away would be too much of a bother for whatever is lurking here. I mean, if there even is something out here. Maybe there is. Let's keep going with the believer options. Oh, college here is community college. And then university here is like the higher level of education, if that makes sense. So I ended up going to community college because I didn't want to go into a bunch of debt, and my parents had been able to save up enough money for me to go to community college. So I went to community college, and plus I could drive to a community college and not have to live on residence. So I did it for the sake of not going into a bunch of debt. Didn't end up doing what I took in there anyway, but I think that would have happened if I went to university too. So in the college course, there was a student named Jack Daniels. He never once appeared in class. We assume he's too much part of the animal to come. Yeah, maybe. Let's go with the believer option. I can't say for sure what is and isn't around, but to be honest, I truly believe there is something here that eludes my comprehension. I'm not a superstitious woman, but I'm also not an emotional one either, and what I felt yesterday... My voice cracked. I've never quite experienced before. That's not enough for me to proudly say, oh yeah, must be aliens. Aliens. I can entertain a reasonable doubt. And as it is, I reasonably doubt there isn't something here. Yeah. What do you guys... Okay. Here's a question for the two of you. Do you guys believe in aliens more or ghosts more? Or both. You can believe in both. But I believe in, weirdly enough, the likelihood of ghosts more than the likelihood of aliens. Like, I know that aliens are probably out there because the universe is infinite and thus infinite chances of aliens. I just, at least on Earth, I believe in ghosts more than aliens. You can believe in neither either. I'm kind of like, I don't know enough about the world to say either way, so I'm turning on the part like, I don't know if they exist, but if someone said they did, I'd be like, yeah, I believe it. Like, if someone could prove that aliens or ghosts exist, I'd be like, yep. Yeah. Okay. I would totally believe it. I just haven't... I've had some supernatural experiences, but there's always, like, a scientific explanation for it, so... Yeah. So, Salt Merchant believes in aliens more. Cool. I believe in both to a degree. As in... if they existed, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, that's the same as how I feel. But of the two being here in existence on the planet, I believe in ghosts more. But I'm not like... I also don't believe in ghost hunters. So I'm like, if ghosts exist, I don't think we have a way to measure them yet. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I've definitely, like I said, I've had some supernatural experiences, but yeah, no worries. Yeah, I've had some supernatural experiences, but I've always been like, well, that could have been infrasound or something else that was making me uncomfortable, or, you know, like change in air pressure or something that was making me uncomfortable in a situation. So yeah, it's just, there's reasons, ways to explain. Anyway, we'll keep calm. Cranberry's like, play the visual novel. But yeah, yeah, okay. I was just curious because I'm kind of like, I don't technically believe in both, but if someone provided proof of either or both of them, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds reasonable. Whatever the reason for yesterday's rejection, today is definitely more accommodating. It's still a bit colder than the rest of the forest, and I can feel the weight of being watched, but we are off to some progress. Now to test some things. I mean to explore the clearing for artistic reasons, but for starters, I want to investigate the place. No matter what is going on here, there might be some clues. If this is an elaborate prank, there might be a big air conditioner hidden somewhere around here. And I would be in a Scooby-Doo episode, and that's a vastly different issue. Wow. Blech. English. So I start looking for clues of any sort. Guys, I promise English is my first language. I promise. So I start looking for clues of any sort, starting with my investigation from the waterfall, gradually expanding the circles I trace while walking with my back hunched. If only... back hunched, it's like, that's my sign to stand up, sit up straight. If only I had a magnifying glass. It quickly appears that, in a forest, pretty much anything looks like a potential clue, if you don't know what you're looking for. Yeah, old prisons, like, even whether you believe in ghosts or not, I think it's just all the negative energy that's, like, there. Like, just... yeah. That's another thing that I'm like, I don't know if that exists, but that would be where it would be. How can you be sure you're Canadian? Oh, for English is my first language? Yeah, it's definitely not French. I do know some French Canadian people, but English is, I'm bad at French. I can read a cereal box, that's about it. And I took it for a long ass time. Because we have to take it in school. Very little of it stuck in my head. That broken tree branch might be a clue. Someone might have stepped on it. Or maybe the wind. Or an animal. That tree with strange markings? Someone may have tried to climb it and observe me from above. Or a deer could have rubbed his antlers against the trunk. That candy wrapper? Could be. But then again, even though this place is secluded, that is sadly not the first trash I've stumbled on since I got here. That's sadly true. These footprints? Okay, now I think we are getting somewhere. It's pretty far from the center of the clearing, so it could belong to someone that was observing the scene. Someone with somewhat little feet, and not very heavy. Or maybe not. My only knowledge about hunting comes from movies and books. They're probably her own footprints. But it's clear someone was there, and probably not too long ago. It rained last week, so I reckon it could have washed away the footprints. Probably. My only move is to try and follow them, and it quickly appears that they don't seem to lead me anywhere, as if they were just going in a circle in the... Family wanted to go room. His sister's wife there, she died previous year, so I mentioned in the room. Went to the room and it was final night. Maybe wife's spirit guide. Aw, yeah, that could be. They do say older people and animals and little kids, if ghosts exist, they're the ones to see it. How much of an idiot can I be? These are my own footprints. I've been tracking myself for about 5 whole minutes. Stellar work, Clarice. Okay, let's just conclude that there are no visible clues and that I'm just wasting my time if I keep looking around. I'm not here as a supernatural investigator. I'm here to take pictures, and that's what I'm gonna do. Look for the orbs in the pictures. Not accounting for the embarrassment of being a half-wit, I'm comfortable enough to stroll around and take some photos. It's nothing great so far, just me scouting and playing with the natural light. Waiting for some nice reflection on the water, a dim ray of sunlight piercing through the trees, a nice breath of wind bending a tree in a beautiful way. Even some basic shots, it takes me a while, especially because of my camera. It's an old one, a Polaroid. I don't think even my mom owned one, she was young. I do have a modern camera, a good one at that, but I'm attached to this old thing. Hearing it burping out the... What a phrase. Hearing it burping out the picture I just took always brings a smile to my face. I don't know, I guess I just find it funny and delightful. Press a button, I hear a click, then the screeches of thousands of ink goblins painting what they saw, and poof, I get a picture. I'll come back later with better equipment, but what I have now is enough. I only came here for a handful of reasons, to scout the place, and no expensive hardware was needed for that. Then, to convince myself I could face the cold dread floating in the air, and having my favorite camera was great comfort. I also took the liberty to pack some chocolate in my pocket. Comfort food has never let me down. I finally wanted to get an idea how much this place would be able to help me. How effective of a remedy it would be. I guess I still think like a doctor, which is not a bad thing in itself, only that's not how I want to live my life anymore. I want to focus on my feelings, on art, on something other than fixing what I can save. It feels a bit selfish, and maybe it is, but I want to work on fixing myself. That's how I'll feel better. And speaking about feeling better, that's the same picture you took. I don't. I didn't notice at first, but now the air is getting colder and thicker, just like yesterday. It probably started slow enough that I wouldn't even acknowledge it, but now, it was like walking in a pool. Even if you don't really notice the resistance at first, there comes a moment when you can't just keep walking and breathing at the same time. And I just passed that point. It was the same feeling as last time. Now, what I have to do is obvious. What do you guys think we should do? Retaliate or ignore it? Neither of these are the believer or disbeliever options, so. Retaliate is a strong word. I would say talk to it or something, but... Retaliate or ignore. Retaliate. Cranberry says retaliate. Watch you guys, my two viewers say different things, then we're still... Yeah. Okay, we got 2 retaliates. Nah, I won't take any of this. I'm not gonna let myself get bullied by some, I don't know, fresh air. Something wants me gone. I'll stay all day long then. You know what? I'm gonna take even more pictures. I deliberately spoke very loudly to assert dominance over the place. The photo is out and I resist the urge to shake it vigorously. It's like blowing in a cartridge. Everyone did it, but it's actually damaging. That's true. You don't shake Polaroid pictures. It's bad. You just wait for them to come on their own. It's a nice one, and even if it wasn't, I'll take every shot here as a personal victory. Oh wait, it's not a really nice one actually. There's a stain in the middle of it. Oh yeah, there is. There's a person. There's a face and shoulders. Yes, sounds good. Yeah, there's definitely a person there. I didn't see it at first glance. I hope there isn't a stain on the lens. I didn't bring any wipes with me, and I don't like brushing it off with my clothes. Once or twice is okay, but if I do it too often, it would end up getting scratches on the glass. I inspected closely and nothing. Well, that's good. What's that bluish spot on my photo then? I take a closer look. Closer look? Morgan? I take a closer look. There definitely is something there. Maybe a weird reflection? Could be. Let's just try and take another one. The angle isn't the same, so it probably won't be visible, but hey, no one can expect a perfect result when it's conducting an experiment. There's always some variation, even when you... Oh, it's much clearer now. Even when you strive to do things perfectly. That's how science works. The important part is that you experiment and That you are thorough with your... What in the actual heck? Heck, instead of the word. The spot is there, but it's even bigger this time, about twice the size. I'm positive there's nothing to see when I look through the lens. It might just be the sun ganging up on me, joining the clearing in its bizarre bullying. I'm not a light expert, but that's something you study for a short while when you attend medical school. Really? You study light? Like science light or like photo light? No worries, no worries. Thanks, Cranberry, if you have to go. No worries. Based on my little experiment on the subject, there shouldn't be any reflection from that angle. Let me just... Come on, come on, come on. Drive faster. I have to see if I'm right. I need to, because if that's not the light playing weird tricks to my depressed mind, I don't know what it is. And this idea, combined with all the bad feelings of that place... Oh god, he's closer! He's coming closer! He's moving towards you! That is a recipe for... Crap. Crap baskets. It's bigger. And I don't want to say what I think. I don't even want to think what I think, but... It really looks like a face. You can't stay. Sir, this is private property. Sir, this is a Wendy's. It's private property. You can't stay. I jump, dropping both the photo and the camera. Luckily, the latter is strapped to my neck, and I only feel a little tug on my skin. It doesn't reassure me, though. If only it makes me more conscious of my neck and my cold and my abnormally sweaty skin. That's where the voice came from, behind me, whispered right into my bloody ear. But of course, there isn't anyone here. No man or woman, although it sounded like a man. And why would there be anyone? I'm alone, I established that time and time again. What was the argument supporting another person's presence? Just a feeling, a flimsy impression that was somehow being watched? So no, that voice can't be an actual voice. I'm simply tired because I slept like crap. Makes sense, she's a doctor, so she would be like, not a ghost for a while. Plus, I'm in a whole new environment, so I'm impressionable and clearly feel so alone that the first thing my rotten brain is imagining is a goddamn invisible dog and some creepy disembodied voice. Whispering right into my ear, giving me shivers. Giving me shivers. I said that very Canadian. Giving me the shivers. Making me feel like a cold gust of air scratching my skin. I am done. I will just go home, take some pills, and sleep. A normal amount of prescription medicine. And when I come back tomorrow, because I will, everything will start making sense again. I'm not myself today, I just need to... Ooh. I almost jump again when I hear that sound, and I immediately berate myself. That's just the sound of paper. Calm down, Clarice. You're not a doe. A female deer. What even is that? Oh yeah, the picture. With the spot that has... That... I mean, does it even look like a face? Am I just seeing things? Am I about to see Jesus' face on every piece of burnt toast? Yeah, sure, if you look at it that way, it really looks like a face. But if you flip the image, it looks like a face but upside down. I gotta pick that one. Like, I can't see anything else than a face there. Not that it means it is a face, but I don't know. I can't help but doubt. The dog, the feeling, the voice, and now the face? Well, the last two are the other way around, but who cares? Whatever is happening here, I don't understand it, but I do understand this. The explanation that I'm considering is way more frightening than full-on ignorance. Is there really something supernatural involved? That is a fun thought to entertain when you are not directly confronted with it. One can discuss that topic for hours, like we were, providing they have someone willing to have that conversation. But it's a whole other thing when the answer is affecting your life directly. Like, is there a supernatural entity right next to me or not? That's the kind of... I told you to leave. I freeze and then shudder, but this time managed to stay a bit more composed. And I don't really know how, because there's no way to escape what just happened. No BS excuse or some getaway theory. The voice was right in front of me, talking right to my bloody face, and there's no way of mistaking that. Sure, the rational part of my brain is telling me that there must be a down-to-earth explanation, but it's also telling me that I don't have what it takes to figure it out myself. So, back to the basics, I guess. Oh god. Oh, 4 options. Let's go. Let's be friendly. Let's be friendly. Hello? Hello? I immediately feel ridiculous. Who in their right mind would be dealing with warnings by some invisible maniac by responding hello in a polite, mundane way? I would! I would! I'd start out polite. If it's a ghost, I don't want it to kill me. If it's not a ghost, then no one will even hear me. I would start out nice. It's like my brain was factory reset and I said the first thing an android would say on Activision. I stand in silence for a few seconds, waiting for an answer. That never comes. Not in speaking terms anyway, but I can feel the presence stronger than ever before. It's right in front of me. There is no mistaking it. I squint my eyes and I can start to see... Oh, he's right there! I see him! Something. Like a blur in my eyes. Just as if a drop fell into my pupil. And then I hear it again. Leave this clearing and never come back. I have done things against my better judgment for quite some time now, and I feel like I'm about to add another one to that list. This thing, whatever it is trying to boss me around so that I run away. Order me around like I'm an intern again, and now that the shock is wearing off, a question is standing out in my brain. Why on earth should I do as what it says? You go, girl. I'm not the kind of woman who just nods and moves on. I like it here. Hell, I was even led here. If that's a sign that this place is made for me, I don't know what is. This hole was made for me. And besides, apart from making me uncomfortable, what did the invisible thing ever do to me? Chills and warnings, nothing else? That doesn't mean it can't become dangerous. This lady thinks for a long time. But as far as I can tell, it hasn't shown any sign that it could hurt me. I will not. In fact, maybe you should be the one to leave. It is private property after all. The shape in front of me flickers a bit, and I feel like it is displeased even before it talks. But there's something else, a hint of, I don't know, frustration in the air? No, not frustration. Exasperation, perhaps. Leave me alone. You sound very petulant. Leave me alone. I don't want you here. I put my fists on my hips and look at the shape directly where I think its eyes would be. Yeah, nah. Nay, definitely not, Fat Chance. I love Yena. Yeah, nah. I gotta say yeah, nah. That's so funny. Whoever wrote this has a sense of humor. I'm all for respecting boundaries, but I won't move 1 foot away from here just because some invisible, rude entity ordered me to. You can't. I'm not finished. The commanding tone I used in the operating room naturally resurfaced in an instant. I'm here because I bought this land, and I will stay as long as I want, and come back as often as I goddamn wish. Now, if you have a problem with that, you will drop the commanding tone and discuss it with me. After we're done, and only after that, maybe I'll consider it. The shape is getting a bit thicker, enough for me to recognize the bluish tint it had on the picture. It's like I'm slowly zooming in on a very distant picture. Now, if you are willing to be reasonable and polite, let's go back to step 1. Hello, weird presence. My name is Clarice. I'm an aspiring photographer, and I bought this land a few weeks ago. I feel both ridiculous and badass, and when I extend my hand to the shape, both of those feelings get even stronger, and I have no idea which one is winning. I'm not as calm and collected as I pretend to be, but I can't let myself be bullied away, not without putting up a fight. Seconds pass, and nothing happens, but I don't move, and I stare defiantly at a bunch of trees rendered bluer than they should be. Suddenly, something happens, and again, I can feel it before I hear the being speak or see it move. Hello, Clarice. My name is Nathan. Nathan from Drawfee? The shape moves and something extends. I hope it's a hand. Going through my palm without me feeling any contact. However, my hand is now cold and wet. And I died here, years ago. Forgotten face. I dropped the heavy bag on the ground. Hello? Nathan, are you there? My heart's beating fast because I'm not sure what is going to happen. What's he going to say? And will I even get an answer? The guy has been switching between giving me the silent treatment or being assertive. Maybe today he'll try a new approach to get rid of me. Give me some time to think, he said yesterday. If you really are coming back, at least let me have the rest of the day. Not my first time dealing with a recluse, although I'm not used to seeing them breathing and being... I'm used to them being breathing and being corporeal and everything. A ghost, an actual real ghost. That was something massive. I thought about it all night, barely got any sleep. Sure, I can't completely silence the part of my brain telling me that this is all an elaborate prank, but come on. Having the mind of a scientist is not about rejecting the supernatural. It's about following the trail left by the evidence. And even if it was leading me through the actual uncharted territories, the trail was there. I guess it's conceivable I was just hallucinating, but that's even further out of the realm of possibilities than the existence of the afterlife. I've never had any instances of paranoia, hallucinations, paranoia, or anything of the sort, and not a single other symptom that could be linked to brain damage. I will get a brain scan though, just to be sure, but let's be honest, I don't think that's necessary. I trust what I saw, and the factual evidence I brought with me, like the 3 photos. Although, if you did have a brain thing, your brain would see the photos, giving you the evidence that, you know, unless you have someone else, you show someone else the photo, and they see it, that's different, but you know, whatever. It's fine. Of course, that just changes everything. Everything. A form of life after death. I needed to experiment with that, and that's why I brought that backpack. I am. The voice echoes behind me and I turn around. There he is, my ghost with undefined features. I still get chills, and the air is colder again, but the sensation is vastly different from what it was the last 2 times I was here. The hostility is gone, replaced by, I'm not sure, resignation, I think? It's a hard feeling to read, especially when it's not yours. Am I right to believe that you are tolerating my presence? I can't help but get a little bit cheeky. That was a victory after all, and against an actual ghost nonetheless. I have never let any being boss me around since I finished school, and now I can proudly say that being alive is not even a necessary condition. Ellipses. How could someone without lungs convey such a genuine sigh? I would still prefer to be left alone, but I understand you have your reasons to come here. So I would like to suggest a compromise. Do tell. You can come here every day if you want, but I would ask you not to stay for too long. No more than half an hour per day. I'll accept the agreement for now. We'll stay nice. Half an hour was not much. Not much at all. I don't and won't need to stay all day here, of course, but an hour or even 2 would have been much better. However, I understand his position, I think. I don't know what a ghost needs, but if I had to guess, I would say peace and quiet would be on top of the list. That's not a lot, but it's fine by me for now. Maybe we'll accept those terms and we can renegotiate the deal later? I would not get my hopes up if I were you, but I can't say I never will envision altering the deal. Understandable. Half an hour it is, for as long as you wish. Thank you for accepting that. Boundaries. Boundaries are good. Something changes. The air is still as cold as winter, but it gets lighter, easier to breathe. I feel more relaxed, and I can't help but smile. You shouldn't be so glad, you know. Give me a week or 2 and I will wiggle my way into staying for more hours every day. We'll see. That positivity won't get you anywhere, but at least you will always be happy where you are. The wind whistles in a light gust. He's having fun. He has wind control? I smile. He left his body behind him, but not his sense of humor, it seems. Alright. We'll think about some extended time later. That's if I even want to show up again, because I'm feeling a bit of rudeness around here. Really? Oh well. It must have been the other ghost, I guess. Wait, there are others here? I turn around and scan the environment. Is he talking about the dog? Or even there are more people like him, all of them invisible in the clearing? Joke. Joke. His laugh takes me by surprise. Both of us, actually. It's brief and loud like a bark. It ends as quickly as it started, and we both stand motionlessly, not saying anything. Both shocked into silence by the sheer weirdness of the situation. So, what's the bag for? That was the poorest segue I've ever heard in my life. Is that how you spell that? Maybe that's the American way to spell it. I think I've seen it the British way. Oh yeah, my backpack. Well, that's for... well, the French way, actually. That's for testing. I open it up what I hope is in front of him, revealing a bunch of instruments. A kitchen thermometer, 2 different cameras, tissues, salt, flour, a bottle of water, a candle. Everything I could think of in order to test some theories. The nearby town is pretty small, so I can't get something fancy like an electromagnetic detector or even a Geiger counter. I'll just order that online after some tests. Testing? I thought you were a photographer, not a crazy scientist. Well, I'll have you know I'm something of a scientist. I'm a surgeon. Was a surgeon. And I can't let all these years studying medicine go to waste. I don't like the idea. I lift my gaze, thermometer in hand, and I can see him take a step back. While I was looking away, it looked like he got more well-defined. I can grasp more of the shape of his face, and in the eyes I see for the first time, I see worry, turning quickly into an expression of surprise. You can see me? Our eyes meet, and that's a better answer than anything I could have provided. I can see some of him. Most of his body is still blurry, but his face is one of a man now. Kind of. You're not doing it on purpose? No, I've never even... He suddenly moves, dashing to the waterfall. Wait, what are you doing? I follow him and see him lowering himself into the water. I get it, he's trying to see his reflection, but for some reason I know it doesn't work. The sound of water rings a bit sadder now while he crouches on the bank. Wait, why don't you just come back? I can take a picture. You can? I think I can. Remember yesterday? The camera could see your shape even before my eyes could. Come over here and stand still. Oh, he's blushing. My tone is soft, quiet, and I don't feel like if I were to speak louder, I'd scare him away. He sounds so distressed, so scared, so vulnerable. I want to help him. I consider using my high-end camera, but quickly shake the idea away. The Polaroid one proved itself to be adequate, and we are not in an experimenting mood. I lift my old camera and struggle for a few seconds against the focus, and finally... I hold the picture while Nathan moves toward me, and I feel his impatience in the air, in the way the wind sweeps up the falling leaves. My hand is shaking, not because of the stress, but because it got colder as he got closer. Easy, easy. It'll take a few seconds. While that is a definite improvement. I don't want to glance at the photo before it's completely rendered. I don't even want to glimpse it. I only want to see the result, for better or worse. That's... me. It's even more defined than the one standing next to me. Not only can I see a face filled with apprehension, I can see his arms and a checked shirt. That's plaid? That's a plaid pattern? Checked would be like a checkerboard? That's you! I almost forgot. It's been so long. I bite my cheek, not sure if it's the right moment to ask. My curiosity quickly gets the better of me, but I make sure to speak in a soft and careful voice. How long has it been? I don't know. What year is it? It's October 2022? Oh, it's not, this game isn't that old. Never mind. So, that's 13 years. I don't know how to respond, but as the silence gets thicker and thicker, I know it's the kind of I have to break. Or maybe it's the kind I can't handle. It's so easy to confuse both. Nathan. Oh, Nathan, I'm so sorry. Don't be. I'm glad to... It's good to know. Nothing changes around us, but everything looks different. No cloud appeared or went away, but the sun feels a bit brighter, warmer, and while I still feel the cold air, I'm not cold anymore. Do you want to keep the photo? Yes. Yes, I do. Just, can you put it in my pocket? I look at him puzzled and a bit embarrassed, like that one time as an intern, I tried to shake the hand of someone who we just amputated the day before. Everyone laughed at me, even the patient who was kind enough not to take umbrage at my mistake. Nathan would have liked him, because he's laughing at me now, with that weird but somehow precious bark. I suppose you think that was terribly clever. I can see and feel him smile at the same time. And here I was, getting confused and feeling bad for the sake of that dead clown next to me. Stop smiling. That was rude, you know. I was being nice, and... Yes, I know. I'm sorry. He's still smiling, but his expression is more gentle. I'm not sure if he really is sorry, though. I apologize. It's just that For a second, his face seems to shatter in sadness, so much that I can't see his face anymore, and that the memory of his body is replaced by a mixture of deep and sad feelings. But in a moment, it's gone. He looks at me with a polite smile, making me question what I saw. I can't help it, but I'll be more careful next time. Oh, because you think there'll be a next time? I try to sound defiant, but I think we both know I'll be back. I turn away from the biggest discovery of our era just because the ghost had been a bit of an a-hole. What kind of person would I be? Oh, I think so. You'll be back. And I can't leave, so We'll meet again. He can't leave? Now that's something interesting. Ghosts usually can't, but I know that's not a, not a new, that's just what people think anyway. Is he linked to the place? That would make sense. Why would someone choose to be here alone when they could be with their loved ones? And if you don't mind, I would like to end our meeting a bit early today. What happened was a bit much. Oh, you have enough energy to mess around and make fun of me, but now that's serious again, you want to quit? I guess. Feeling so much is tiring. I'm not used to tiredness anymore. I'll make it up to you next time. But please, Clarice, that's enough for today. His tone is polite and quite warm, but he doesn't fool me, not while his mere presence still affects the area. He is indeed tired, but I can also feel a profound sadness, and I know a concealed misery when I see it. Every hospital is full of it. Do you want to keep the damn photo before I leave? I could stick it between 2 rocks or something. That would be very nice. Thank you. I nod and search the place for a few seconds. It does not take me too long to find what I need. I crouch and set up the picture as I said, close to a fallen tree trunk, hoping it would block the wind. Hey, just a bit of advice. I turn around, lifting an eyebrow in a quiet response. These clothes don't suit you. They scream bourgeois landowner. Gives off a bad vibe, you know? Look who's talking about fashion. He's wearing, like, the white guy outfit. Someone who's married to a white guy. Yeah, he wears that outfit all the time. Is that so? Well, thank you for your advice, but I don't have some ghost trees. Don't you have some ghost trees to chop down? Trees? What do you mean? You clearly went all in on lumberjack chic. I can't wait for the rest of your body to appear so I can see the boots. I am not a lumberjack. Nor are you a fashion expert, are you? He looks away, annoyed, but I can see a faint smile on his evanescent lips. I think that works. I'm just trying to tell you that you're not how I thought you would be when I first saw you. You're nicer. Oh, thank you. Still a bit too much upper crust, though. She used to be a servant. Or, not a servant, Morgan. She used to be a surgeon, so, And she can buy land, so she's got money. Even in 2022. How much longer is this game? How long are we into this? We're into an hour. We'll do a little more. The following week, I come back to the clearing every day to take some photos and speak with Nathan. It took me 2 days to convince him to allow some form of testing, with my promise that I would be extra careful. The first thing I learned was that he can't interact with almost all of the real world. He can be seen and heard, so his presence affects photons in some way I'm not able to test out. But I don't even know if he's able to have an effect on the air. He clearly does? He was making the wind and gusts of wind and stuff. Since we're not in a controlled environment, I can't even say for sure if his voice is an actual vibration or if it's something else. He can be heard on recordings, so that's a start. The way he communicates his emotions is also one thing I can't really test, at least not for now. My first guess was pheromones or something like that, but I think that can be ruled out. My wild guess would be that it has something to do with electromagnetism in a way the human brain can interpret, but that feels a bit far-fetched. He does have an electromagnetic presence though, just like in movies, although that's not linked to where he was, but only where he is. Being a few meters away from him renders my detector mute, and have to be very close for it to detect anything. Temperature works the same way, but on a larger scale. The cold radiates from him, and it seems linked to his emotions in some way. Another thing the movies were right about is salt. It somehow affects and repels him. A line of salt on the ground is something he can't cross, he has to go around it. And while I definitely thought of that idea, I didn't try to throw salt at him. I don't want to hurt Nathan, and I especially don't want to lose the trust we're slowly building. And I want to help him. He hasn't really talked about why he's stuck here, but I know something is wrong. I can feel it. Well, he's dead. That's probably a pretty good indication of what's wrong. I still have more tests to run, but I'll find a way out for him. Today will be about his possible weakness to iron and... Oh, new clothes? Well, he's like, he's posing. Oh, new clothes? I hear his voice the very moment I enter the clearing, and it takes me a few seconds to distinguish his transparent shape. I can see his whole body now. His whole body. Well, since you seem like a real fashion expert, I thought I would copy your style. I wanted to go all out on the flannel. Are you still bummed out about what I said about your outfit? Yes, I know. Yeah, unfinished business, ghosts, can't move on, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. Maybe someone would take it to heart when you tell them they look like a stuck-up biatch. I'm quite positive I didn't use those words. See, that would have been a great time to say, I didn't think that and I still don't. Oh my, seems you caught me being ill-mannered. It's crazy how you change when you die and you're stuck in the same place for years. I know he's not angry or hurt. In fact, I can even see his smile and I can't help but mirror his expression. Nathan, one day you'll have to understand that being dead is not your get-out-of-jail card. You can't play it every time you're backed into a corner. He puts his hand to his chest, mimicking a great shock, while looking at me with big round eyes. How insensitive. Weren't you a doctor? A surgeon. And as a surgeon, it was my job, hell, even my vow, to pull people away from the grasp of death itself. Oh, that's where your prejudice against me comes from. You don't like me because you can't save me. Precisely. I can't help but chuckle and he grins too. The cold I feel around him now seems warmer than the forest itself when I'm alone. Anyway, new test today. I figure we can do them right now, if that's okay with you, before I start taking some photos. I found a great spot yesterday and I think the lighting will be great later. Tests again? I should thank you. These are the things that made me glad not to have a body. I wouldn't do them if you did. I'd like to start with iron. I've heard that pure iron can act on ghosts and I want to... Oh yeah, I remember that TV show. The one with the two hot brothers. Supernatural! I never said that's where I got my information. You didn't need to. Has it ended? Supernatural joke. Oh, it ended. It ended... It didn't end when Trump got elected, but it was a big deal. There was two things going on at the same time, and it was crazy. Quite recently, actually. Something like last year, or the year before that. Was it any good? Did they defeat Lucifer? Oh yeah, they did, but he came back quite regularly. This is very funny. I don't know, I didn't watch Supernatural, but I'm on the internet, so I know a lot about it. What? Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. Why don't you try and put your hand on that iron poker? I pull out my backpack and he, understandably, doesn't seem too thrilled about that. He makes a face while staring at the poker like I'd insulted his mother, copiously. Yeah, about that. I'd rather we do something different today. Like what? You want us to take silly photos? I do wonder if I'm able to make weird faces, based on the fact that I don't have an actual body, but that's not what I'm after. He seems serious, so I dropped the banter. I'm not used to him sounding so grave. On the contrary, it didn't take me too long to notice that he's the kind of man who deflects every serious topic with a joke. Oh god. Well, you come here every day to investigate, but I'm curious to me about that. I don't know anything about you. I know nothing about you. I can say the same about you, can't I? We've never shared. You're right. But since I'm the subject of all your experiments, He's getting clumsy with his words and his eyes dart away. Is he embarrassed asking about me? You think you put up with more than that? You think you've put up with more than I, and therefore you don't want to have to be the one who shares first? Ellipses. He turns his back on me and waits a whole 10 to 15 seconds before answering. It's kind of an analytical way to put it, but that's the spirit. The autumn spirit. Name drop. No pun intended. Yeah, he's got a point. Having a conversation isn't supposed to be a trade, but he's the kind of personality that might do that. Well, he isn't wrong. If we were keeping score, I can reasonably agree that he's done more towards me than me towards him. I put him through a lot of tests over the past days, and while he's not always a cheerful and willing subject, he's never flat out said no. And we never really expected the time limit he insisted on. I was already staying for about an hour or so every day, and he doesn't complain or even address it. It's true that I'm doing all for a selfish purpose. English. But the thrill of discovery and the insecure desire to help him. But I don't think that evens it out. Well, you do make a compelling argument. Do I? Not very much at first, but now that better words were used to convey your feelings, it sounds understandable. He turns around and stares at me with a mildly annoyed look. Well, damn. Must be my lucky day. I smile and stand up, closing the distance between us before staying next to him, facing the waterfall. What do you want to know? I told you already that I was a surgeon, and that I bought this land. And that you're obsessed with photography. I'll have you know I'm trying to change a hobby into a passion, but yeah, I really am interested in photography. Well, that can be a start. Trying to ascend a hobby is not something you hear regularly. Why? Oh, starting with the tough questions already. It's a tough one indeed. I'm not even sure I know the actual answer. I only have leads, so to say, a starting point, an ending point, and where I am now. That is linking all of them? Well, that's a complicated part. The short answer is would be that I don't want to live my old life anymore, and that I'm looking for something else. More fulfilling. More fulfilling than saving lives? You'd be surprised. I sigh. It's gonna be a long and strange conversation to have with a ghost. Saving lives is definitely something that gives you strength to get out of bed in the morning. You wash, brush your teeth, get dressed, and get into your car thinking about how much good you're going to do today. It sounds cliche, but it's true. I know the vast majority of people don't have a job that has actual meaning to them. So many of them work because they have to, because they need to put food on the table and forget about their dreams. To be fair, I consider myself amongst the lucky. However, I know my feelings are valid. That's what I'm about to say is justified, and that I have every right to believe that I believe, to say what I say, to do what I do, what I did. I know no one but myself is able to judge me by my choices. I know that. Actually feeling it is another matter. It wasn't working for me. Well, it did at first, but as the years passed, something changed. Was it the work itself, or my vision of it? And if it's about me, is it because I realized something I didn't see before, or is it because I changed? I'm still not sure, even if I believe just slowly learned how the sausage was made. If I may, that is a weird analogy for a surgeon to make. I can't help but laugh for a moment, and to feel grateful because I know I made the joke only to lighten the mood. I actually am an expert in human sausage. I love the zoom in. And this music cutting away. It's very stupid and funny. Oh, they're continuing. The joke's continuing. Oh god, it's continuing. How close are we gonna get? That's not what I meant. That was good. Understandable. So, in what way did your vision change? You focus on the good parts at first, the people you save, but after a while, I started to think about the people I didn't save. Yeah, burnout is a big thing in the medical field. And I'm not talking about the ones who die on the operating table. That is always tragic, and it's a heavy blow every time it happens. But you are somewhat prepared for it. As much as you can be prepared to deal with someone dying in front of you. I had my fair share of unavoidable deaths, at least that's how I learned to see it. If someone dies on my operating table, it means either that I messed up or that it was out of my hands. The former never happened, and the latter quite a few times, sadly. But you learn to distantiate. This game is using words I've never heard, and I read a fair amount. Distantiate yourself from events that are beyond your grasp. Some say it's destiny, that it was just their time to go. Others, fewer, say it's just bad luck. Either way, it's not your fault as a surgeon, and the burden is not yours to bear. We're all humans, though, so we can't help but take a small shard of that burden. As a reminder, keep safe to be better prepared when it happens again. Kind of like a vaccine. I slowly discovered it was part of the job, and I could accept that. Other things, however, my real issue was all the people that never make it to the operating table. Ooh, are we going into American medical system? Those without, yep. This is a deep topic. This is a big deal. I don't live in the States. Canada's system isn't great. But this insurance is never an issue in Canada, and I'm so thankful for that. You might have to wait, but they won't just say no. Those without insurance, those who don't trust the system, those who try anyway but are rejected for one reason or another, those who are lost in the nightmare of paperwork. Those who can't even find a doctor to begin to understand what is wrong with them. All these avoidable deaths. I sigh and lower myself, looking at my feet. It's not a happy conversation, and I feel that weight is still upon my shoulders. But it's not a hard one either. I've had this talk many times with people who supported me and some who didn't. It was painful at first, but now I know it's a part of the healing process for me. They all could be avoided, with better understanding, more doctors, more hospitals, more trust. And the best way to fix pretty much all of that is money. It's all about money. Always, everywhere. Oh my god, this game is so relatable now. It's only gotten worse. It's only gotten worse. But money had never been the actual issue. The problem was, and always has been, that the people who had some were willing to do with it. Oh my god, it's only gotten worse. The race. I thought I could help. I mean, I'm not a CEO, but I am privileged. I made a fair amount of money with my job, but it was never enough. NGOs can only do so much and only exist because of the inaction of the powerful. And even something as simple as giving money to friends in need was hard. They didn't accept the help, too proud, and I would have done the same. Even with all that I had, it was still nothing. The amount we needed to do is always beyond my scope. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess, and it's just getting worse, and yeah, the American medical system. The American medical economy, whatever you want to call it, it's so messed up. Like, the only developed country that doesn't have some kind of system that, if you are dying, will save you. Like yeah, like I said, Canada has its issues. Sometimes it's very hard to find specialists. Sometimes you have to wait a long time. But if you are dying and you have to go to the emergency room, they will help you. And it's not always, well, in the States, they will help you, but then you're in debt for the rest of your life. Like, it's so crazy. Anyway, this is a dark topic, and this game is treating it with very good heaviness. I don't want to get into it, though, because this game is covering it. I don't want to reiterate what the game's already saying. Wasn't expecting this game to take that turn, but when she said she was a doctor, I did kind of think of it. But anyway. I straighten my back and open my arms, trying to encapsulate the whole world between my hands. And out there in the world of big money, it's always about short-term profit. Oh my god, it's just worse. It's so much worse now. It's not even just profit anymore. That's the crazy part. Fixing this would make a tremendous amount of money in dozens of years. But it would be worth it, even if you're a monster and only cares about money. Every time you invest in health or even education, environment, social aids, you eventually get that money back and much more. It's the truth. It's the truth. Because people will be happier, better educated, better health, and will be more valuable assets to the community. Valuable asset. I can't even say that without a disgusted grin. There is no sane reason to be against that, and still, people die and suffer every day because no one with power wants to do the right thing. I felt so lost between all that. So alone, surrounded by people who didn't care much, couldn't be bothered to try, or were even more powerless than me. I know some try and some succeed, but there wasn't anyone like that around me. I finally look at him again. I got so lost in my speech that I kind of forgot why I was saying all that. And to my surprise, or my relief, he looks at me with understanding in his eyes, a melancholic smile on my face. It appeases me, and after a few seconds without saying a word, I sigh again. So I left, not because I want to fight, because maybe I will, maybe I won't. That's not my priority. I left all of that behind because I just couldn't bear it anymore. It's as simple as that. Now, I just want another life to try and find what I like, what other passions I could have. When you go through medical school, you don't get to keep pretty much anything you like in your life. I take my camera in my hands and I snap a quick picture of the waterfall. Photography was a hobby when I was younger. I even wanted to be a professional photographer when I was a child, ever since I discovered Life magazine. So, why not try to find something slow, steady, based on capturing and immortalizing the moment to face the rapid decline caused by people rushing towards what is closest? It makes a lot of sense. His voice is soft, like the wind in summer's dusk. Maybe this is the place for you. I really hope it is. Thank you. To be honest, I wasn't sure you'd be cool with that, since you are, Well, a ghost. I take a few seconds to search for the correct words. Given the circumstances, I thought he would be sleaze. I chose to prioritize my mental health against saving people. I think you can fight for a better world without having to be a surgeon. Saving lives, yes, but like, you can fight for a better world by being a citizen and voting. Like, I know it seems like the system is built against you, but you can fight for a better world in many different ways. But saving lives as a surgeon, I can understand her feeling that way. Aren't you angry or disappointed that I don't give every second of my time to save others? Given the circumstances, maybe you would be. He doesn't respond right away, but I don't think this is him hesitating. I think he's just trying to clear his mind or maybe choose the right words. No, I'm not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I really wish I was alive right now, but you have to protect yourself. Sometimes even at the cost of someone else. It may sound terrible, but it shouldn't. Nobody has to sacrifice themselves for anyone. He smiles, but something changes, both his face and the air around us. His eyes lose their sparkle, and when he closes them for just a second longer than needed, I feel like he's about to cry. He doesn't, but his voice is lower, like a whisper. Some do, and that's admirable. Some don't, and they shouldn't be held accountable for that. Everyone has their limits, and you, Clarice, have every right to honor yours. I don't answer. In fact, we don't even talk for a while after that. I don't know how long it lasts. 1 minute, 10, half an hour? I have no idea, and I don't care. It's one of those silences. The rarest kind. The one that you love and cherish that doesn't intrude between you, but rather holds you both, embraces you in a peaceful hug. The one you don't feel like you have to break. You don't even have to. It goes away like snow, slowly disappearing, till it's time to talk again. May I ask you one more thing for today? Ask away. You said you were feeling lonely, so why come here? Away from everything you despise, but also from everything else. Being alone while surrounded by others, it's the worst sort of loneliness. But here isn't a place of solitude. It's a place of peace. I look at him, giving him an understanding look. He gets what I mean and smiles, nodding in approval. It is. What was his name? I made some discoveries. I bet you did. He doesn't seem too thrilled, but I can't really blame him, if I'm honest with myself here. I've been making discoveries for the past 2 or 3 days, and some of them were not as area-defining as I would have hoped. Though I still believe that discovering his electromagnetism is linked to his cold temperature, and that they're somehow related to magnetism refrigeration, is still a big deal. That I did not impress Sir Ghosty McGhostface here, who was still a bit grumpy about the iron poker test. Which was, I confess, a great source of discomfort for him, for which I profusely apologized. I felt really bad about it, still do actually. Trust me, you're gonna like it. And why is that? Because it starts with me looking like a fool. Why would I enjoy that? Why would I enjoy that? Because you keep teasing me over and over again? Nonsense. I'm the kindest guy alive. Are you, though? We both laugh. He was quick to joke about his situation, but it's been a few days now that I feel he's actually been sincere with his jokes. As if being dead was somehow getting increasingly funnier to him. Okay. Tell me what happened. It all started when I met this college professor yesterday. There aren't any colleges around here, though. Did you die 13 years ago or in the 19th century? You know cars are a thing, right? Yeah, and unless they're actually flying nowadays, that's a 3-hour drive. They are not. We're even struggling to get them to be electric. Even more so, stop producing fossil-based electricity. F that. Guys, I think this game might be left-leaning. No. Indeed. But yeah, I drove there because, you know, bloody Discord is not a thing for this guy. Discord? Yeah, Skype? Messenger? Oh yeah, I remember Messenger. Are Wiz still a thing? Oh god, no. I like them. You did not. No one did? That's nostalgia talking. Anyway, are you about to tell me finish, or is this going to be another history lesson like I mentioned superhero movies? No, sorry. I won't interrupt. He was not ready for the state of the movie industry nowadays. It's also only gotten worse. So, college professor. Wow. Professor? Professor? So, college professor. No flying cars, meeting. It wasn't hard for me to get a meeting with someone that important, even without discussing the full nature of my intentions. I used my credentials as a doctor and said I have some questions beyond my caliber. Anyone with a degree is always happy to be smarter than someone else, especially if they also have a degree. I don't have a degree, but I do know people who do, and that is very true. He's a physicist. Not world class, but hey, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. I know my stuff in the medical field, but when we're talking about actual physics, I'm not an expert. I don't get me started on the mathematics. Anything other than statistics is an absolute pain. Well, statistics also are, but at least I studied it. I showed him the data I gathered the past days and asked him to help me interpret that. We had this long talk about what could explain all of these phenomenons. Am I a phenomenon? You definitely are. But that guy tried his best to find an explanation. So much so that I kind of got a bit too into it, to the point where I forgot a simple little thing. Let me guess. You didn't submit the data as actual real things that you yourself observed? I might have excluded that part, until I forgot I did. When I was still in the realm of theory, the guy didn't mind, even if he made a point to remind me that from time to time, it couldn't work in reality. He probably thought I was writing a novel or something like that, but when I slipped up and started to ask how to help him, I lost all credibility very, very fast. And I didn't want to. I much prefer him not to believe me rather than coming here and finding out. Why? The question takes me by surprise. What do you mean, why? It's obvious. I don't want him to know because... Why am I keeping him a secret, when it would be in my best interest to just gather as much advice I could, showing him to world experts and everything? But the simple idea of showing his photo to anyone feels so wrong. Let's say I don't want him to be disturbed. Sorry, I'm just looking at the different expressions. They're subtle, I like them. I don't want him to be disturbed. Well, that wouldn't be decent, you know? Decent? Towards me? Well, yes, you're stuck here. You just want to be alone and quiet and everything. You tolerate me and we have a good thing going on, but I don't want to ruin it. To ruin what? To ruin your peace. Ah, yes, because my peace is what matters most to you. He's not saying that with an ironic tone, but for some reason it stings a little. I'm pretty sure he doesn't resent me for how I handled our situation at first, but I'd hate to be wrong, even in the slightest way. That's not the same, and you know it. I didn't want to bother you or intrude on your life. I can assure you, you didn't intrude on my life. Haha, very funny, but please, I'm serious. An army of scientists would be a disaster. For you and this place. And I'm not like that. I just wanted to learn, you know, to know you. What you're made of at first, yeah, but now... I moved towards him until close enough to touch him and his body for me to feel. They're getting closer! He's curious, but not puzzled, as if he already knows exactly what I'm about to ask. Nate. We're on Nate? We're on nickname level? Ooh. I would really like you to if you could tell me more about you. Who you were. Does it really interest you? You were telling me the story about that physicist. Who cares? He thought I was making things up, threw me away, and now I'm back to step 1 on how to free you from this place, which is picking up stuff in obscure library books and weird websites. And TV shows, but I'm not going to say that out loud. Look, I don't want to insist. Actually, that's a lie. I do want to insist, but I won't if you want me to. Well, but I won't if you don't want me to. I would really like it if you were able to talk to me. I see him getting all conflicted about it. He keeps his gaze on me, but his body is shifting, like he wants to turn around and run away. He doesn't move, and I can tell he's doing his best to stay composed. The result is just him being stiff, almost ready to face some danger. My question triggered a fight or flight response, and I think he's about to pick the fight choice, so I don't say anything. Not a word. I don't want to influence his decision. I hope he opens himself up to me like I did a few days ago, but if he does, it should be of his own volition. I said my piece, and now I just wait. If I assume you want to talk about how I died, don't you? Okay, we are on, and this is already a rocky terrain to tread on. That's far from the only thing I want to know, but I would like to, yes. That's understandable, but I don't. I can't say that's a surprise. You can't expect someone to openly talk about their trauma, especially when it's an actual death. To be honest, I don't know if death is the worst thing that can happen to you. I've seen so many things, so many people broken in so many ways. You get used to death. It's a crazy thing to think, but you do get used to death. But there are stories I heard dozens of times, and they always hurt you in the same way, no matter how hard you try to steel yourself. It pierces your armor like butter, stabs you in the heart, and makes you lose all hope, even if it's just for a minute. I've only ever witnessed that kind of pain and trauma, and I've never died, so maybe I'm wrong. And in a way, I hope I am. I really wish death could be the worst thing. Of course, I don't want to hurt you. Maybe you'd like to talk about something else? Like, your work as a lumberjack? I try to lighten the mood for both of our sakes, and I feel like it works. His body language changes in an instant, and he looks at me with grumpy eyes, but I know he feels more at ease this way. I was not a lumberjack, lady. I've never even cut down a tree in my entire life. I feel like that's a lie. It is. I did on many occasions, helping my father even when I was a kid. But that's not the point. He slowly sits on the ground and smiles. I won. I was a park warden. A forest ranger, so to speak. I was working in the national park east of town for around 10 years. I started right when I turned 18. Ah, like Walker, Texas? No, not like that. His denial was firm and quick. I guess he's heard that comparison many times before. That is not an accurate depiction of the job. I can't stop a chainsaw with my bare hand. Wasn't that in the movie Forest Warrior, not the TV show? I don't know and I don't care. Okay, so that's a topic to avoid. So, park warden. It suits you. I believe it did. Many who start end up quitting because the job is not how they envisioned it. They were hoping for action, car chasers with poachers, tracking dangerous beasts, and observing thriving wildlife every day. It's not how it works. It's a quiet, lonely job. Most of the time, even boring. And yet he can't help but smile when he tells me this, and beyond his cold presence, I feel a deep warmth engulfing both of us. You seldom meet people toured by local guides, but if you do, you feed them some information, issue some warnings on littering and everything. By the way, tourists can be a plague because they sometimes leave some crappy shot from their Polaroid, and that thing just doesn't go away easily. It's not biodegradable at all. Yeah, I know, but I pay attention to that. I know. However, yelled at you for littering in this clearing? You didn't. That's true. But I'll add that I brought this Polaroid at an antique shop. So my hope is that it's more environmentally friendly to reuse rather than buying a brand new camera. You're probably right. Besides, that's only a small part of the job. Not many aspiring photographers even use this kind of camera. And you don't really ever meet anyone in the woods. I can easily picture him doing that kind of job. He's good company, but I can tell he's a lonely type, the sort of guy who enjoys having some company, but finds solace in those moments where they are alone. Nothing is supposed to happen, and you patrol most of the time alone with your radio, in case you need some backup. Of course, if everyone respected the peacefulness of nature, we wouldn't need wardens, so yeah, some action does happen time to time. It can even be dangerous. Poachers are armed and ready to kill, to a point where animals and humans alike barely make a difference. I never got shot, but had a gun pointed at me once. There was no bravado in his voice when he tells me this, no pride in narrating that he was in danger but survived. He talks about it like it was an event, not a happy one, of course, but not something worth worrying about. Were you scared? I was. Almost pissed myself when I heard the click of the firearm, but nothing happened. I called for backup when I spotted them, and they were quick to join. To be fair, I was more scared for my dog than I was for my own life. The dog returns. You had a dog? The barking I heard the first day I came here immediately came to mind. That's too many cames in the sentence, but that's fine. I'd never mentioned that sound to him, now that I think about it. But it couldn't be a coincidence. It wasn't hurt, right? He turned his gaze away to me, and I feel his emotions shifting, replaced by a thoughtful melancholy. I would have said sadness, but it wouldn't be accurate. It's a feeling beyond that. The difference between an open wound and a scar. No, he wasn't. The idiot kept barking and growling, but he was fast enough to grab him and hold him tight. They would have shot him if they tried to attack, but I was there. What was his name? I hesitate for about a second. The memory of the invisible dog keeps flashing in my head. I'm afraid to understand what it means. And even if I'm wrong, it's been 13 years since Nathan passed away. His dog most probably wasn't around anymore. Ulysses. That's quite the name. The mere name seems to shake him to his core, as if the sound crossing his lip carries a heavy weight. So heavy that now he said the name, he looks empty. Embrace his emotions! That's a beautiful name. That was a beautiful dog. Nothing changes, he doesn't even move, but he feels smaller, younger. Like a young adult, maybe even a small boy. I always was his favorite. Dad was the pack leader, of course, the food provider, but I was his best friend. He could learn any trick and understand any order, but damn him if he was going to sleep anywhere other than in my room. I feel like tearing up, but I can't help but smile. Somehow, I can perfectly imagine the scene, even if I don't know what Ulysses looked like, or how Nathan's room was. When I close my eyes, I can almost see a father figure scolding a big dog out of Nate's room, only for him to come back a minute later and snuggle on the bed. Hello, Cranberry! We're playing a bit longer today because I don't know how long this game is. He followed me everywhere, and somehow he always knew where I was. But boy, how dumb he was for anything other than me and my dad. We always said he had great social intelligence, but lacked everything else. I understand. This unconditional, pure, and heartwarming love, the kind you can't really have for humans. I had a dog when I was younger too, and the memories I have with him will always hold a special place in my heart. How old were you when you got him? His eyes seem to go blank for a second, and when he responds, it's with a mix of pain and anger. We got him a little while after my mother left. About a year after, I'd say, when I was 16. I think Dad realized that it was hard to heal. I don't say anything. I'm afraid that if I do, I'll scare him away and he'll shut down again. Tried his best, my dad, but I'd say he didn't have the right tools. He somehow managed to raise me right, but we didn't really keep in touch, even though we were still living in the same town after I moved out with Ulysses. My dog was our only topic of conversation for a while, and we kind of stopped talking. And I regret that His words dry in his mouth while his eyes, it's hard to tell, but I'm pretty sure he's about to cry. And I don't know what to do. I want to grab him and hold him in my arms, stroke his hair until he lets it go and slowly calms down, but I can't really do that. My only reaction is to try and hold his hand in mine, but I go right through him, feeling the cold and wet sensation as if dipping my hand in freezing water. I don't want to talk about it anymore. He sees my hand and unknowingly mimicked my gesture, trying to hold it, to no avail. Clarice, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why I stayed. I don't want this. I never did. I'm so sorry, Nate. I really wish I could help. You are, in a way. Seeing you every day, it helps a lot. I just wish... His words take a while to come out. He's not searching for them. No, this is different. They are stuck in his throat as if he were afraid to say them, until they escape from his mouth, running away in one short breath. I wish I could have met you when I was alive. How many chapters is this? Let's save. I don't know how many chapters this game is. I have to stop soon. It's almost lunch for me. I'm kind of like, I don't know how much longer there is to this game. And I'm kind of like, I don't really want to like stop it if there's like 20 minutes left. Oh, how long are we into it? Hour 37. Okay, I'm gonna have to pause there. And we'll just have to hope. We're gonna see. This is an indie game, but sometimes people know. How many chapters in Autumn Spirit? Can I finish it in... Oh, I can't finish it in 10 minutes. Made in 1 month. So, impressive. It doesn't say, but I have to end it. It doesn't say, but I have to stop. I must stop. I must leave. It's 2 hours. Oh god, so there's only like 20 minutes left, but again, I'm reading out loud everything, so I'm gonna assume at least like 45 minutes. Yeah, but I heard it was, I saw it was a Spooktember like game jam, and I'm like, maybe it won't be very long. But okay. Well, either way, we'll stop it for now, and I'll finish it later. And because I need to eat lunch and I also need to rest my voice, because if I do reading for too long, I'm going to lose it. But anyway, thank you guys for joining. Salt Merchant and Cranberry, it was very nice to have you in here. I hope you enjoyed my reading. And yeah, we had a couple little talks in there in between, and it was good. Learned some stuff about you guys. But anyway, we will be back on Wednesday, unless I get called into work again, like last week, for some art. But we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye. 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 Smile.